Assalamu alaikum students. I hope and pray that you're all fine and doing well. In the previous 4 weeks, we have been studying about earthquakes, which is the first part of chapter 1. And from this week, we'll start studying about the next part of the chapter, which is about volcanoes. Before we start today's lesson, I would like you to recall what we have been studying in the previous 4 weeks. The previous weeks we have studied about what an earthquake is and how an earthquake occurs. We have also studied factors that affect the intensity of an earthquake and the impact of earthquake on people. We have also discussed and studied ways to reduce this impact. So let's come to the learning objective of this week. This week you will learn what we mean by volcanism, what it stands for. You'll also learn about different types of volcanism, and you will study and learn the structure of a volcano. Some new words or terms that you will be reading this week are magma, which is an extremely hot liquid or semi-liquid rock that is found under the Earth's surface. The next term that you will come across is constructive plate boundary. You students already know that the Earth's surface is broken into pieces called plates. These plates are continuously moving. When two plates move away from each other, the boundary of such plates is called constructive plate boundary. The next term is diverge, meaning separate. Rift means crack, and seeps means flow or leak. Ejected means being forced out suddenly. Spew means large quantity of a material being released quickly and forcibly. Ridges means long, narrow, raised part like hills. Destructive plate boundary is another term which is related to crustal plates. When two crustal plates move towards each other, such boundary lines are called destructive plate boundaries. Subducts is a word in geography which refers to a process in which one edge of one crustal plate is forced under edge of another crustal plate. Erupts is a word which we use when a volcano becomes active and releases lava, ash and gases. Vent is a word used for openings. Fissure means crack. Cinder is another word for ash, and cavity means space. The first topic that we'll be studying today is what is volcanism. Students, any guesses what that means? If you're thinking about volcanoes, then you're very much right. Yes, it's a word, volcanism, that refers to volcanoes and volcanic activity. And I hope you must have seen a volcano in a picture somewhere or in a movie, or you might have a fair idea of what a volcano is. Volcanism is defined as a process through which magma, which is hot molten rock, ash and gases from inside the earth are forced onto the surface of the earth. Based on where the volcanoes occur, we can divide volcanism into three types. That is underwater volcanism, volcanism at destructive plate boundary, and the third one is volcanism at hotspots. This week we will be studying about the first two, that is underwater volcanism and volcanism at destructive plate boundary. Before we proceed towards types of volcanism, let me recall what a constructive plate boundary is and what a destructive plate boundary is. If you look at the picture on the top, you can see that there are two plates, crustal plates, moving away from each other. Such plate boundaries are called constructive plate boundaries. If you look at the picture which is under, you will see that two crustal plates are moving towards each other. One of the crustal plate is an oceanic plate and the other crustal plate is a continental plate. Oceanic plate is lighter than continental plate and that is why it sinks under the continental plate. This area where it sinks under or it goes under the continental plate is called a subduction zone, and such plate boundaries are called destructive plate boundaries. The first type of volcanism under discussion in your book is underwater volcanism, and as the name indicates, it categorizes all the volcanoes that occur underwater. Following are the three major characteristics of underwater volcanism. Number one, it takes place at constructive plate boundary. Number two, most underwater volcanoes are in seas and oceans, that is deep water, but some exist in shallow water, that means where the water is not very deep. Third characteristic is that underwater volcanism has resulted in the formation of underwater ridges, that is mountain ranges, and volcanic islands. The next type of volcanism based on where a volcano is formed is volcanism at destructive plate boundary. A destructive plate boundary is a place where an oceanic and continental plate move towards each other. The oceanic plate is light. It sits below the continental plate. This zone or this place is subduction zone. There's a lot of friction there, and due to friction, the crust melts and magma is formed. This magma is forced on the surface of the earth, resulting in the formation of a volcano and causing a volcanic eruption. At destructive plate boundary, cracks or fissures are found, and through these cracks or openings, lava is released, and it's a repeated process. Because this lava is repeatedly being released through these cracks, around these openings or cracks, there is a building up of volcanic material, which results in the formation of a cone-shaped mountain. Dear students, if you will look at the picture, you can see that it is the picture of a volcano and it has been labeled. The opening or hole in the earth's crust through which the magma comes to the earth's surface is called vent. Cone is the layers of lava, ash or cinder that builds up around the vent to form a cone structured shape. Next comes the pipe. It's a passageway which joins the vent to the crater of the volcano. It allows the magma to flow from the vent to the crater. The next part is the crater, which is the top of the pipe through which magma is forced onto the earth's surface. Lava is the magma which is being forced onto the earth's surface. And the last part is the magma chamber. It's a space or a cavity in the earth's crust below the vent that holds the magma. Now we have reached the end of our lesson and it's time for a brief recap. Today we have studied that volcanism is a process through which magma, ash and gases are released onto the earth's surface. Based on where a volcano is formed, we can categorize volcanoes into three types, that is underwater volcanism, volcanism at destructive plate boundaries, and volcanism at hotspots. We have studied the first two this week and we'll be studying volcanism at hotspots inshallah next week. We have also learned about structure of a volcano and its main parts, which are vent, cone, pipe, crater, lava and the magma chamber. Dear students, now we have reached the end of our lesson. I hope to see you inshallah next week. Till then, stay home, save lives. Goodbye and Allah Hafiz.